Donald Trump, he ain't no punk. Like a former president, gonna make America great again. He's draining the swamp and building a wall for y'all.
Sing it, Henry.
Stop the Democrats. They hating we elected him November 8th. There ain't nothing you can do. I said his name is Donald.
Welcome to the show, folks. We're listening to some Henry Davis. Love my Henry. Love my Henry. Welcome to the show, you guys. Hey, Kim, how's it going? Welcome to the show. If you are watching, please click share. Please click share. Let Zuckerberg know we don't care about him blocking us. We still want to watch our Trump talk. Let him know. Share, share, share. Welcome to the show. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Let's show everybody this nice billboard, this nice chalkboard here. Trump Talk. You are watching Trump Talk US. I'm Suzzanne Monk. Trump Talk US is working with Stand with POTUS PAC. Hey, Penny, how's it going? So I got to show you this according to FEC rules, because we are working with Stand with POTUS PAC to continue to promote the president's agenda here across the country. I'm here, right here, Washington, D.C., 20 minutes from the beautiful Capitol building, 24 minutes from my beautiful, beautiful president's house, the White House. You might have heard of it. It's where the president gets to live. President Donald J. Trump. That's his president right now. So, great stuff today to talk about, you guys. I want to talk a little bit before we get into the topics of the day. I want to talk a little bit about DACA going forward. We're still getting a lot. I want to congratulate a lot of people. Actually, let me just start with congratulating a lot of my fellow Trump supporters for calming down. Okay? Starting to get the idea Donald Trump is operating on the art of the deal. Good afternoon, Mary. Maybe you've seen this as well as I have. People are starting to calm down, starting to understand the president is negotiating. Okay? So I want to congratulate all of you who did that, who said, oh, I think the president's negotiating. Calm down. Go to the friends pages who are still freaking out. Get them on board with this calm down thing. There's no reason we need to be this freaked out while our president is doing his job, the job we elected him for. So, going forward, excuse me, let me just clear my throat a minute. Going forward, let's continue to support the president and give him the ability and the freedom to negotiate for us. You guys, you don't walk in. Look, okay, when you're in the middle of, say, like legal proceedings and you hire a lawyer, you don't walk in and start yelling at the other guy. Yeah, exactly. Hashtag calm the F down. Hi, Chris. Good morning. How's it going? Good afternoon. You don't, it's getting better. Yeah, see, Mary, it's getting better. You don't just walk in, okay, to the deposition and start yelling at your opponent, okay? Because your lawyer's going to be mad, okay? Donald Trump is like our lawyer, okay? He's like the lawyer for the American people. He is going in to the people we're fighting with. He's going and negotiating with them. He's talking with them. He is using his skills to represent us. So, calm down and let our lawyer do his job. Let our president do his job. You guys are always stressing me out with that. And I really appreciate everybody calming down a little bit. Let's keep calming down. You guys, there's other things to be riled up about. Okay? Let's talk a little bit about the new Roseanne show. If you might have heard, Roseanne Barr is a big Trump supporter. I don't know if you all, because people still remember when she was back in the day when she sang the national anthem all bad. She was very feisty. She sang all bad. It went really bad for her career. The whole thing went badly. Okay? That moment everybody remembers. But, if you haven't been following what Roseanne's been talking about lately, you do not know 2017, 2016 even, Roseanne Barr has been a huge Trump supporter ever since the general election. And so now they're putting her show back on TV, the Roseanne Show, and they are adding an interesting development. The Connor family, Roseanne and Dan, will be Trump supporters written into the script. They will be Trump supporters. Roseanne has said, and I believe ABC is supporter in this decision, that she wants to make the show represent real American life. Now, let me tell you something, okay? People like Dan Connor, who work hard, blue-collar folk, people like Roseanne Connor, the characters in the script, they would be Trump supporters. It's absolutely ridiculous that they wouldn't be Trump supporters. So the idea that they're going to make them Trump supporters in the script only makes sense. I know, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. This movement has, it's fascinating because we see people on the left who have come over. This movement is changing the way politics work. We're not Democrats and Republicans anymore. We are pro-American Trump supporters and pro-globalist Trump haters. Good morning, Mike. How's it going? So I'm really proud for Roseanne. And even more so, I'm very happy that ABC, I'm sure they're doing this for monetary reasons. They think, hey, maybe we can get some controversy. Maybe we can get some viewers who are being disenfranchised by other shows. We'll pull all those viewers in. So I congratulate ABC for taking this move. I tweeted them this morning. I contacted ABC to thank them for doing this show and to let them know you're going to get a lot of hate from the left. They're already starting this let's boycott the Roseanne show. So what I'm going to say to all of us Trumpers, we need to show support. Not because we support everything that has the word Trump in it, okay? But because we need to start dealing with this culture war, with this political terrorism, with this fascism, this neo-fascism we're dealing with, where if you don't agree with somebody, they should be shut down. That is the world the left is living in right now. They don't agree with us. They don't think we have the right to say it. And what they're saying by trying to shut down the show is that television doesn't even have the right to show us Trump supporters on TV. Yeah, Chris, exactly. And this is what I think. I think they saw what we did to the NFL. I think they saw what we did to their shows. I think they've seen the impact of Trump supporters again and again. When we're mad, watch out, okay? We do not support. We do not stay with you. We get on the phones, okay? We shut stuff down. Men and women, football fans across the country have made the decision to not watch football at all because of the political stance the NFL has had. So if you think that Trump supporters aren't going to, back up what we say, we will. And I think ABC has recognized that. So I'm encouraging everyone to go to ABC on Twitter, on Facebook, go to the ABC network and make a statement, issue a tweet, send them an email, give them a phone call. I have a message board. You can leave a message. Let them know you are supportive of what they're doing. Thank them for what they're doing. Let them know you will be supporting their advertisers. You will be supporting their network if they stand strong against the left hate. We have to fight this culture war. And if they're going to try to shut down Roseanne merely because the character is a Trump supporter, and because Roseanne is a Trump supporter, it is our mission, it's our job, I genuinely believe, as Trump supporters, to have her back, have the shows back, and frankly, at this point, have ABC's back as long as they continue to keep the show on air. Let's make them keep the show on air and fight the left's resistance by making our voice heard. I've said this many times. We do great jobs when we call to complain and say we don't like something. We can be equally effective by calling and saying we do like something. So it's so important. If you get a chance, go on ABC Network Twitter, go on their Facebook page, call them on the phone, send them an email, let them know, thank you. Thank you for putting Roseanne's show on. Thank you for representing Trump supporters in any kind of light that's not evil. Yeah, thank you for letting people on TV be Trump supporters. I mean, that's how bad it is. We're literally the most prejudiced, allowed to be prejudiced against group in the country now. You can be prejudiced against Trump supporters. That's what the left is trying to say. But when we stand up and we say, no, 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 we're allowed to be people too. We're actually doing a great service to our country, to our president, and to politics going forward, ending the divide in America. So, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what Roseanne does with the show, and I frankly suspect that this is a comeback for her that's going to be really powerful because she is being true to herself. You know what makes people laugh? You know what makes people enjoy your comedy? Being true to yourself. One of the reasons that Roseanne got so big in the 80s, came up so big, was because she was a real person. She was a housewife. She was struggling with marriage. She was raw about it. Okay, realism is what got Roseanne the career she had. Now, she had that phase where she got a lot of money, she got real rich, her show did really great, and then she tried to tell rich people jokes and poor people jokes at the same time. It's kind of weird, right? And then she went kind of crazy lefty for a little bit. And then Trump, okay? And Trump is fixing not just the country, he's fixing people, okay? He's fixing people. So, I feel like we have a great opportunity to support a fellow Trump supporter. And if you don't know how hard Roseanne has been supporting Trump, if you don't know how much she's been an activist for our movement, you might want to go follow The Real Roseanne on Twitter and find out what she's saying. But now let's talk a little bit about Tim Allen, because the show, Tim Allen Show, hello Donald, how you doing? Tim Allen Show was canceled. Part of it was network situations intrinsic. So, contracts coming up, cost of the show, etc., etc. Ideally, thank you, Josh. Thank you for sharing. Ideally, we'd love to have that show continue on, and hopefully they'll find a new network to continue the show on. But there were some other reasons that the show got canceled. Now, maybe they learned their lesson as well. This is also a possibility. They canceled that show. They got their phones blown up because we were so mad about it. And they said, well, maybe we get those viewers back if we put Roseanne on and make her a Trump supporter. Let her do what she wants to do. So, support. You know, it's kind of like when you have kids, you guys. When you have kids, if you just keep reminding your kid of something he did bad last week when he's doing good this week, you're not going to have a good kid, okay? Because you're just constantly reminded. They can never improve. They can never forgive. You can never forget. None of their bad past ever goes away. The same thing when we're talking with these companies, with these networks, with these big people. So they shut down Tim Allen Show. We hated that. They're going to put Roseanne on. Let them know we like it. Let them know what direction to go in. This is what you should be doing, ABC. We like this. Let them know. It's important. It's important stuff. And I'm very proud of Roseanne for doing it. And frankly, I'm just proud of her as a Trump supporter. She's been a great voice for us. She's got a nice surly tongue on her. Nice surly tongue. She really knows. And she's such a great troll. Oh my gosh. I think they should just put her on just for how good she's trolling people on Twitter. Yeah, go follow her on Twitter. The Real Roseanne. Go follow her. She's fun stuff. So let's talk a little bit about I'm going to talk about this, and we'll talk about Governor Rhino Larry Hogan, but I'm going to get mad if I talk about him. So let's talk about this situation next. We all have heard the news reports. There was a psychiatrist who, I know, she fits right in with us. She's so she's literally what we're talking about. She really represents that. I was a Bernie supporter, but now I love Trump, and I think y'all are crazy, and the left has lost their mind, and I'm fighting back. Right there with us. Love that. So, we've all heard the story. There was a psychologist that diagnosed Trump without ever having seen him as mentally unstable. Everybody's been talking about it. Well, interesting little fact, okay? The doctor, and I put that in quotes, doctor, who made that diagnosis, because you can't actually diagnose somebody who's not your patient and you've never actually seen before, according to medical rules. So, the doctor actually violated the medical rules in this assessment she wrote about Trump, but you know what? She wasn't a doctor. What did you say, Suzzanne? Are you saying that the woman who diagnosed Donald Trump as mentally unstable, hey Patrick, how's it going, wasn't a doctor? You're right. Her license had been expired since 2015. It's been pending. She has not been able to renew her license. She does not have the ability to prescribe drugs. She's actually not legally a doctor at this point. This is how desperate the left is. I know, she really should. She really should diagnose Nancy Pelosi. I mean, I would put in for that. Like, look, please help this woman. She seems to need more help than any. She's lost her mind. And what's her face? Sheila Jackson and Maxine Waters while you're at it. We'll get them a group rate, save them some money, but they're going to need a real doctor. They're not going to be able to use this quote unquote doctor because she's not really a doctor. And this is exactly the problem we have with the left again and again and again. They're so desperate to find people who are willing to talk against the president. They will literally use anybody. And they obviously can't get real Dr. Oz wouldn't come out and do it, they can't get real doctors to talk about it. They have to get these leftist, agendist people. And frankly, what we're seeing is that they do not have the respect. They do not have these people aren't maintaining their lives. They've turned into social justice warriors and they've lost track of civilization and society. They literally live in a fairyland. Yes, Isa. They live in a fairy tale land where a doctor that isn't even a doctor anymore can diagnose somebody they've never seen. No, actually, I don't think Dr. Phil has come out against the president. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Phil is a Trump supporter, ultimately. I think he's been a little bit smart to keep his tongue. Because how's this going to help you? It's not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody going around diagnosing. Real doctors know they can lose their license for that. That's correct. What we have is social justice warriors. We don't have doctors. The left doesn't have anybody. This is why they're trying to run Oprah. Everyone's like, oh, they're running Oprah because she's can get the most celebrity attention. They want to run Oprah because they don't have anybody. Here's what the Democrats always do. They always say, hey, maybe we'll run Oprah. And they do that while they figure out who they really have because they have nobody. Doing it again. Now, what's fascinating is we have other celebrities, not pro-Trump celebrities like Roseanne, who we love. Other celebrities coming out against Oprah with basically the same things we come out against Oprah about. She knew about Harvey Weinstein. She's part of the casting couch reality that we have turned Hollywood in. She is Hollywood's swamp. So, unfortunately, all they have with Oprah is the race card. And when Seal is a very black person. If you don't know Seal, the singer, maybe just Google him and you can see a picture. They don't have the black people either. Okay. They don't have, the race card is not locked up because as you see, even in her own celebrity community, people mistrust her and they mistrust the corruption with her. But frankly, Oprah's peak with the working class, with the average black American, it's way down. She's not in the height of her day. And part of that is because she's become a rich, disconnected elite. And the African American community, the white American community, the Asian American, everybody can see that Oprah is not the Oprah she used to be. Yep. Thank you, Deborah. Seal married to a white actress. Obviously, he's not a racist and he knows what he understands the race card and he's not having it. And frankly, other celebrities aren't going to have it either because Oprah literally did hand over starlet. She helped connect young actresses. It makes me mad. Actually, I have to pause for a minute just to get my breath because it's so, as a woman, for somebody who champions women's issues, to be Oprah and to stand there in front of God and everybody and say that you champion women's issues while we know you handed starlets over to the Weinstein casting couch. Really? Yeah. He thought it's such a great question. What has Oprah done for the black community with all those millions she has? Well, she gave a bunch of cars. She opened up that school in Africa, right? Rather than supporting education here in the African American community, which we all know is struggling deeply, could certainly use her help and support. She opened a school in Africa because it gave her more press. And then it went badly. Didn't she have some legal problems with that whole entire mess? Yeah. So, this is what I'm saying. Oprah doesn't have the clout that she thought she had, and the left doesn't have the clout, and they're willing to use anybody. They're willing to use fake doctors. They're willing to use washed-up TV hosts. They're going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel, trying to figure out what they can throw against President Trump, and not just President Trump. Welcome, Joe. Louisiana Deplorable. I love Louisiana. Louisiana. That's, I think, how you say it down there, Louisiana. It's not just against Trump. When they stand up and say, we hate the president, we hate everything he stands for, we don't want anybody who supports him to have a voice, they're against us. They're against us, the Trump supporters. Not just President Trump. That's one of the problems we've been seeing in our culture again and again. It is this political terrorism against Trump supporters. This is the culture war we're in. I've seen it firsthand. I know many of you have seen it firsthand. It's why we're afraid to put Trump bumper stickers on our car, because somebody's going to key us. It's why my business had to be closed down, because we received death threats. We received boycotts. Why? Was it because I had my store plastered with Trump posters? No, I didn't say the word Trump in my business. Yeah, not one time. Not one time. But that didn't stop them from connecting my politics with my business and shutting my business down, attacking us online, boycotting, calling us names, calling slander. And of course, I don't have money to hire a lawyer to attack all these random people on Facebook, on the internet, who just literally decayed my business. But this is the culture war. We're going up again and again and again and again and again. So we have to do something about that, you guys. We have to continue to fight the culture war. We can't stand down when it comes to letting this left ideology that if they don't believe what we believe, they get to shut us down. Because that's fascism. That's fascism. It's extremely dangerous. And it's so important that we Trumpers continue to stand against it. It's why I want us to call ABC and let them know we support the Roseanne Show, because by putting a Trump supporter on the show, they're helping us fight the culture war. Yeah. And them running Oprah against us, they're going to find the culture war is something maybe you shouldn't play with because Trumpers aren't playing. And look, Deborah, isn't that funny, right? The Trump curse is real, you guys. The Trump curse is real. Let's just do the timeline again in case you didn't believe me, okay? Oprah gives a speech at the Golden Globes about how she, negative things on Trump, blah, 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 hating Trump. Okay. Within 18 hours, mudslides on her house. Now, Trump didn't it's not like Trump has a mudslide, machine that he's going around, It's not the HARP machine he's got access to. It's karma, the Lord. I don't know what y'all want to call it. All I'm noticing is the timeline, okay? The timeline seems very simple, and the Trump curse is working now within about a 24-hour window. Speak negatively against Trump. Somehow, you fall down, you hurt yourself, you wreck your skiing career, your house gets mudded. This is what happens. Maybe don't go against the will of the American people, and we won't notice these little things. But right now, even if it's coincidence, there's been a lot of coincidences, right? Every time somebody comes out against Trump, these coincidences happen. Don't know what to tell you. Maybe stop trying to attack President Trump. So, speaking about attacking President Trump, let me be annoyed with the governor of Maryland. As y'all know, I live on the Maryland side of D.C., so I am technically a Maryland resident. And Governor Hogan is, sadly, I'm very disappointed to tell you, my governor. I say, because this is what Governor Hogan has come out recently with. Article in the Baltimore Sun talking about Maryland is going to join the delusional set of states who are joining on with the Paris Climate Agreement. What? How are states even joining on with the Paris Climate Agreement, you guys? How is it that a state has no authority to engage in an agreement? But see, what they're doing is they're saying, well, we are measuring ourselves based on the climate agreement. And when I called Governor Hogan's office today to tell them that I was very disappointed with this obvious anti-Trump move that has nothing to do with anything good for the state of Maryland, he gave me some statistics about, Maryland's standards for environmental emissions are much lower than the Paris Agreement. Okay, well, one, the TPP barely about emission standards. It had many other components, including funding all of that. The United States paying billions and billions of dollars into the process with other states not having to pay anything. So to say that you're signing on with the Paris Climate Agreement as a state is delusional. It is merely virtue signaling. Now, Governor Hogan's supposed to be a Republican. Governor Hogan is supposed to be a Republican. Okay? He's virtue signaling joining the Paris Climate Agreement. Now, Scott, rather than argue in my comments, just to let FYI, take a pause. We'll still be here. We got another at least half hour of this show. We talk for a long time. Take a pause, go Google, then come back. That way we don't have to argue about it in the comments. You can then when you come back, you'll have screenshots and stuff that you can show us and prove that you're right or wrong. And we can go from there. But arguing in the comments is going to be annoying. So, go Google. Go Google. You know, it's not everybody else's responsibility to prove you wrong, okay? I can say something, and it's not my job to provide you a college-level thesis dissertation on why my opinion is correct. You can do your own research. We invented a thing called Google. It's an amazing thing. When I was growing up, we didn't have Google. We had to actually physically go to a place called the library. The library. We'd have to go into something called the card catalog. We didn't have computers to look it up. Card catalog. And look up actual books. Then we had to open up the books, and read. Now you can just go Google. So, seriously, rather than sit here and argue, Google. Google. So, yeah, now see, Scott, you're getting mad. Here, well, let's just do this. We'll just do that. We'll just take you out of the mix. That saves you the trouble. Now he has time to go Google. So lazy. Just go Google. If you don't agree with what someone's saying, yelling at them back and forth is the stupidest thing I've ever heard when you could just go Google. Now, I understand back in the day if you wanted to yell at people because you didn't want to walk all the way down to the library, go through the card catalog, read several books, write a dissertation. I understand. Now we have Google. You don't have to do any of that. It's no excuse. No excuse. So, Chris says that agreement is all but collapsing. I think Germany is pulling out now too. Right. So why do you have U.S. states signing on, providing lip service to this agreement? Particularly states run by Republican governor. Governor Larry Hogan is a rhino. He's a never Trumping rhino. And he's been trying to kind of walk the fence on it. But this week he's come out with two very anti-Trump sentiments. The first one being he literally put his approval rating up against the president and used that ridiculously low smear number of the president just to make Trump look bad. And then with this climate change agreement he's decided to sign on with, it is just a virtue signal that he's a never Trumper. It is literally saying, I oppose the president. I want to come on record as the state of Maryland as opposing the president. These are Republican governors. So you guys, this is why it's so important we continue to do what the president has said. When we have rhinos, we primary them. Lindsey Graham is the worst. Deborah. Wow, if you guys could primary him out of office, wouldn't that be great? Lindsey Graham is constantly virtue signaling against the president. Exactly what I'm talking about. So I called Larry Hogan's office this morning because here's what we do. Okay? When you don't like what your government is doing, when you don't like what your elected official is doing, get your booty on the phone, get your booty on the email. Yep. Almost as stupid as Moonbeam, Mary. Yeah, this is what we're dealing with. I mean, frankly, if he's going to be that stupid, why don't we just legalize weed while we're at it, make it a lot easier on a lot of people, okay? Then they won't have to sneak over into D.C. to buy it, okay? They can just live their happy, free lives here in the state of Maryland. But no. He wants to pretend to be a conservative, wants to pretend to be a Republican, but then he wants to go against our president. Guess what, Governor Larry Hogan? The head of the Republican Party is President Donald J. Trump. If you aren't supporting the president, how are you getting away with putting an R at the end of your name. You don't support the leader of your party. You're literally making statements against him. So I called Governor Hogan's office, let him know that my vote was certainly going to be affected negatively by this decision. I let him know that I didn't find it useful to Maryland. I asked him, what use does this give Maryland? He said, literally, got on the phone, I don't know. Then he said, we're really more of a policy department and not a politics department. And I said, yes, that's the policy I'm asking you about. I'm asking you as a policy, as a resident of Maryland, as a policy, how is this helping me? How is this helping the state of Maryland? Well, I don't really know an answer to that. He didn't. Right. Because he couldn't tell me the truth, which is it's all politics. It's just Governor Hogan playing the establishment card. So, Governor Larry Hogan, you're on notice. You're on notice, dude. We Trumpers see you. We see your rhino booty, okay? We don't like it. If you have a chance, if you're in the state of Maryland, call. If you're not in the state of Maryland, call. Okay? Check out the article in the Baltimore Sun, Larry Hogan, Paris Climate Agreement. It's going to be easy to find. Check it out. Read for yourselves. When you're angry enough, when you're like, oh, this is making me mad, take your phone. Go over Larry Hogan office, call, let him know you don't like it. Let him know you do not appreciate a Republican governor supporting the leftist agenda of the Paris Climate Agreement and being opposed to our president, who is the leader of this party. You guys, so ridiculous. So ridiculous. So, it's important we keep fighting the culture war. Yeah, this Deborah says, I'm totally in agreement. Deborah, she says, he was brought by some activist group. It's about money usually. Yes. And you guys, that's a good point and I want to make. And I thank Deborah for, it's good advice to use on all elected officials. If you don't like what they're doing, call them up. Engage the process. They really don't even know what to do when you call them. They're a little bit overwhelmed that anyone's informed, any of their constituency is informed and cares. So show them we do care. Show them we care deeply about the policies and the gamesmanship that they're playing and that we expect them to support the president and support the country and the state of Maryland. Signing us onto a fake agreement no one's even doing, just a virtue signal, does nothing. You know, you could be using this opportunity, Governor Hogan. You're talking to the Baltimore Sun. You could be using this opportunity to talk about programs you're using to help solve the crime problem in Baltimore, to help solve some of these issues in the state. What are you doing for those things? Nothing. Right. But if exactly, Mary's so true. If you do like what they're doing, call. So I'm saying, call the president. I know a lot of people called the president this week and complained about DACA. Why don't you call and thank him for making it easier for veterans to transition, for supporting our law enforcement, okay? For continuing to work on the border project, for continuing strong foreign relations, for continuing to put the pressure on North Korea, for continuing to support the Iranian protesters and be against the Iranian regime. We can go on. The president's doing some really great things right now. Call him and say thank you. Let him know what we like. Let him know what we have for the first time in a long time, maybe my whole lifetime, a president who is genuinely responsive to the American people. How's it going, Alabama? How's it going? So, absolutely some good stuff coming down the pike, though. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit because Mary mentioned, it's all about, Deborah mentioned it's all about money. Deborah, you are so right. It is all about money. And let's talk about the primaries going forward. Let's talk about 2018 because we Trumpers have a lot of work to do going forward in 2018 because of exactly what Deborah said. You can buy off these rhinos with just a little bit of donation money. And we have big corporations, we have big companies, we have giant conglomerates that are able to throw money into these super PACs, throw money behind these rhinos, and they have deep pockets. Okay? Now, let's talk some real strategy, you guys. Let's get real good. Let's get close. Let's come up here. Let's talk some real strategy. Okay? President Trump won the presidency on a fraction of the budget Hillary Clinton used. A fraction. The budget Hillary Clinton used was growingly the usual budget. You know, as we've seen throughout my lifetime, your lifetimes as well, the budget for presidential elections has gotten bigger, 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 until we had Hillary Clinton, and it was actually the biggest ever. But what did Donald Trump do? He broke that trend by being able to win the presidency on a fraction of the donations of the revenue of the cost that it took Hillary Clinton to lose. Daryl, exactly. Money no longer rules the world. It no longer rules. We, the people, rule this country, not big money, big donors. Now, does that mean that we can do all of this primary election if we can get our candidates in office without any money? No. No, it does not mean that. We're going to need a little bit of money. Okay. We can do a great deal of things with a small bit of money because we use social media, because we use the Trump movement to network, to support these candidates, to support what our movement is doing, and to support the president's policies. So we have a lot of individuals who are able to share. That saves tons of money. They got to pay snowflakes to troll us, you guys. We're here out of passion for our country, out of love and patriotism. Happy to share, happy to do the work. We have a great network, but we're going to need a little bit of money. When the RNC, here's a trick the RNC is going to use to fight our MAGA candidates. We've already seen them do it in Virginia in the governor's race with Corey Stewart and Ed Gillespie. We've already seen them do it with Roy Moore. If they don't want our Trump candidate to win, they will pull RNC money out. They will stop backing that candidate. Will find whatever little sneaky way. Oh, we had to give it to this race. Oh, we had to do this. Oh, we're not authorized to give you whatever lie they're going to tell us for why they aren't supporting the MAGA candidate. Now, when that happens, they do that because they know it's going to collapse the campaign. And they can get rid of us Trumpers, us MAGA candidates, just by taking the funds away. If we are there as Trump supporters, you guys, if we are there as Trump supporters, with a little bit of dollars, a little bit of donations, and some support to these MAGA candidates, we can fill in the gap and defeat this tactic by the RNC. So, that's so important that we actually engage in that. That's one of the things that Stand With POTUS PAC is trying to do. Now, I know you guys have been watching the show. If you've been watching the show... There we go. If you've been watching the show, you know that I have recently been signed on as chairperson for Stand With POTUS PAC. I will be sponsoring Stand With POTUS PAC. This broadcast is, of course, sponsored by Stand With POTUS PAC, and we are raising funds across the country. This is what we're doing with them. We're going to use them to contribute to our MAGA candidates so that we can help them with those gaps they need. We're going to help them get the voter registration out. We're going to help promote the MAGA movement, help support our fellow Trump patriots so that they can do the hard work of getting out the vote. We're going to sponsor obviously we've been talking about the database. We are building a database of pro-Trump candidates. And as Mary knows, it's getting awesome. It's getting big. This is a movement. Wow. I cannot wait till you guys can see the database and see all the candidates we're talking about and talking to on a regular basis and start to get a sense of literally how big the MAGA candidate movement is. It's humongous. We are changing this country. So the Stand With POTUS PAC is going to be sponsoring the website. We're going to be doing a lot of things moving forward, and we have some great ideas down the pike. So I want you guys to all stay tuned in with that. I'm going to let you know there's going to be some easy, free ways you can help the PAC. Okay? Doesn't cost you any money. I mean, I'm always happy to get a little money. We need the money to be able to support these candidates, but there's going to be some easy ways that you can help promote what the PAC is doing just by doing a little bit of Facebooking, just by doing some social media. And as we go forward, we're going to continue to let you know because it is so important that we continue to support the movement to make America great again. It is so important that we put pressure on these candidates that are opposing the president, including on the governor's race. We have to take this Republican Party back. Get involved. Get involved with your local GOP. Start showing up at the meetings. Start making demands. I want to say I'm very, well, and all about that's where we decide you're just crazy. Okay. It's one thing if you're like, you're from a foreign country and he asked me to marry you. That happens like 1,000 times. And I don't want to marry any Nigerian princess and I'm not giving you any money. When we go rude, we just block you. Just block you. That's the block button it's for. Yes, Daryl King, thank you. Plant a seed of prosperity. I actually love that ideology. If you plant a little seed of prosperity in the movement, it will come around 100-fold to you, I can guarantee, because everything we do for this movement is actually helping the president make our country great again. And if you don't see that actually happening, I mean, I already feel that happening now. Job numbers, security, illegal border crossings are down lower than they've been in 45 years, I believe the president said. We're making progress. And this is year one. We're not even at 12 months, you guys. We're not even at a full year of President Trump. We have done great, great things. So always plant a little seed of American prosperity. He said that in Michigan. We have Jim Jones, a great Republican candidate. Esau, great. Where does he stand on Trump? Give me send me a little private message. Let me know, and we'll take a look at him and potentially include him in the database. We will be talking going forward. I want to start talking to all of these MAGA candidates and see which ones of them are willing to sign Donald Trump's America First contract. And we'll have a real document that shows these are pro-Trump candidates. So we're going to keep putting the pressure on, but we're going to let you know about everyone who even says that they support Trump so that you can vet for yourselves. Just because we put somebody on the database, just because we say, hey, this candidate said they're MAGA, don't take my word for it. Go do your homework. Please stay engaged, stay involved. Now, I wanted to talk about, Henry, we're not ready for you yet. We're not ready for you yet. Henry's trying to stop the show because he's so excited. He's so excited. Awesome. See, Mary's already got it. Mary is on top of it. If you don't love Mary, start loving her right now because she's doing some amazing work for you guys. So. Chris McDonald says, we are important to Trump. We are his only support, and he does know it. Yes, sir, he does. Yes, sirs and ma'ams listening to this. Yes, all of you. He does. He knows exactly that we support him. And he listens, actually, which is why it's so important to call the president, tweet the president, talk to the president, engage the president. You are following the president on Twitter, right? I say it every day. If you're not following the president on Twitter, you're not getting it. He's talking to you and you're not listening. So please open up a Twitter account, if for no other reason, just to listen to the president. Now, I want to talk a little bit about infighting in the movement, because as always, we have perennial infighting in the movement. Hello, Sebastian. How are you? You're going to have to, first off, Sebastian, dear, use full sentences so I know who you're talking about, okay? And a verb. A verb might be important in the sentence so we know, verbs are useful in communicating in the English language. Just I've noticed. So if you want to rewrite that sentence in a way that makes sense, maybe we'll discuss it. Otherwise, I'm just going to eyeball him. Probably a troll. Now, I want to talk a little bit about infighting in the movement, because we've had, as always, we have perennial infighting. Somebody's always busy telling one Trumper or another Trumper who's a real Trumper, who's a fatriot, which, I hate to take credit for stuff, but I actually invented the term patriot. That was me. We were all talking about patriots and the real patriots, and I'm like, so they're patriots. So, and now everybody's been using it, which is fine. I'm not trying to take credit for it. Y'all are welcome to use the word. I'm happy to share it. It's a gift. But I kind of wish I never said it now, because we have all these crazy alleged Trump supporters busy throwing the insult patriot back and forth at everybody. Patriot back and forth. Now, here's how I judge a patriot. I just want everyone to kind of understand how I judge a patriot. Maybe we can use this going forward in the movement, okay? If you have time in your day, if you have gotten through all your MAGA activities, you think, and you have time to get on Facebook and start making videos Oh, Fred, that's awesome. Making videos about other patriots. Okay. You have time for that. About how fake they are and how sellout they are. You are wasting time you could be using to make America great again. I don't have that time. I don't have any time to be calling out other patriots on Facebook. Why? Too busy MAGA-ing. So if you got time to be a patriot, you're not a patriot, okay? You're not doing the work. Maybe you love this country, but you're wasting time. So I have no time for you. I have no time for people who have time to attack other people in the movement. We have work to do. You should be calling your congressperson. You should be registering voters. You should be out holding rallies. You should be with Fred Schneider and Overpasses for America. You should be out waving flags. Fred Schneider, I want to thank him always. He does such a great job sharing and promoting this show. I love Overpasses for America. They do great work bringing patriots together. They've been doing that great work since 2013, okay? Before the president even ran. They've been out there showing support for the country, being patriotic, engaging people in love of country and in patriotism. And this Trump movement has just given them more reason to get out there, wave flags, and get people engaged and involved in their country, in a government by, of, and for the people. So, you should be part of Overpasses for America. You should go stand down on the street corner, wave a flag. Yeah, see, Fred saying impeach Obama was they were fighting Obama back in the day, which was good. It was good. Because he was horrible. He was a horrible president. He nearly ruined this country. It is only by hard patriot effort and the kind forgiveness of Providence, the grace of Providence, that we were able to get President Trump in and start to actually roll back some of those Obama era problems. Just communism, just collectivism, statism, globalism, anti-American sentiment. So there's a lot of things you could be doing with your time. Okay, if you have time to hate people on Facebook, but you're not down on the street corner waving a flag for overpasses, shame on you. You're not with me. Okay, if you got time to hate some patriots, but you haven't made calls to the president, to your elected officials, you haven't called ABC thanking for Roseanne, you haven't called NFL and told them F off, how do you have time? You don't have time. You are not really engaged in this movement, which is fine, okay? I'm not telling everybody they need to be, driving 90 miles an hour towards Trump awesomeness every single minute of the day. Kathy says, I would love to go out and help here in California, but I would need a bulletproof vest. Kathy, I understand your concern. I understand your fear. There are lots of ways, however, that you can still be helping, even in California. And some of that are just helping people get the information to register to vote. So all of your friends, if you're living in California, you have any friends who are conservative across the state, make sure they're registered to vote. Literally go through your friends list. Anyone who would even possibly vote Republican, email them, register to vote. Make sure they're registered to vote. You can do something right from your keyboard. You can be a keyboard warrior. You don't need a bulletproof vest for that. So there's always, always, always ways that you can be helping our movement make sure that we get the votes for President Trump into Congress. Make sure that we support, volunteer for the polls. Deborah, great suggestion. And Deborah did Overpasses. Awesome. Good job, Deborah. That's what we need to do. We get out there. You can also, of course, you can make phone calls. You can work on phone banks for candidates. You can find out, and there are lots of candidates in your region. Mary and I putting together a database. Harim Uzil out in California has a great list of California candidates. You can be sharing and promoting those candidates all across the country to your other fellow Trumpers. So you don't need to even leave the house. I mean, I'd love it if you leave the house. Fred would love it if you would leave the house. Okay, and go and wave a flag, because that's his passion. He loves people out. He loves people active. I love people active. But if you can't be active, if you're, if your medical condition makes it to where you can't really be active, if Your personal condition makes it where you can't. If you're just afraid that you're going to get shot. Okay. I was in Chicago. I stood on the street corner holding Trump signs all by myself. Literally one woman for Trump. Look it up. Nobody shot me. No bullet holes anywhere. All of my body still totally safe. And, all the holes in it were meant there. Okay. Only holes the Lord put. No bullets. So, thank you, Mary, for sharing. Yes, and thank you, Deborah, for getting out there. We need to get Washington State more Republican. Yes, Travis, there's a lot of blue. See, this is the thing. There's blue states, but that doesn't mean we can't get active. Here's an example. Yeah, yes, always. Thank you, Fred. Always stay in front of the computer screen while I'm on, and then get out there, or get on here. Be a keyboard warrior for us. We need all the work we can do. Now, even in the bluest state, Travis, I'll speak to you about Washington. I don't know about Washington, but I do know about Illinois because that is where I came from recently. Even in the blue state of Illinois, they're making some significant progress because the Illinois Republicans are moving further and further to support Gene Ives for governor to run a primary, okay, against Bruce Rauner, who's an utter rhino. He makes Larry Hogan look like he hugs Trump daily. I mean, that's how much of a rhino Bruce Rauner is. He won't even say Trump's name. Bruce Rauner will not say the word Trump. That's how much of a never Trumping rhino he is. Illinois Republicans getting together behind Gene Ives for governor. She's a Trump supporter. All of my Trump supporter and Tea Party friends, huge Gene Ives fans, because she's somebody who actually takes this country seriously, takes the president seriously, and is doing something about it. And Travis, the same thing happened in, I saw your sugar tax. Illinois had that as well. We fought it back and actually had it removed, but they had the same thing in Illinois. And is Gene Ives probably going to be the governor? I got to be honest. Wow, the machine she has to fight against is brutal. So I have doubts that she can succeed, but I am thrilled to the eyeballs that the Republicans there in Illinois are starting to get some balls. Okay. They're starting to get behind president candidates, and that the diehard Republicans who've been fighting in Illinois, fighting, trying to get these squishy handshake, don't do their job, just keep caving to Mike Madigan Republicans to grow a spine. They have a little tiny spine. Okay. It's a little bit. Or we've duct taped them to a broomstick so they have to stand up. I don't know what's happened over there. We're making progress. So, Travis, get involved in your state with your local your Trumpers. Get involved with the Republican Party. Find the other Republican Trumpers. Find them. Find out what they're doing. Support it. Get involved with it. So important. Fred, it's so true. There's so many states that are big, massive states. Most of the rural area is red, and then you have this tiny little urban area, which is blue, and it turns the whole state purple. This is Illinois in a nutshell, okay? You have Illinois, which is a bunch of farm country, okay? Farmers, country people, business owners, small town folk, Republicans. You have Chicago. Blue, liberal, commie bastion, okay? And they keep making the state purpler and purpler, almost to the point of blue at this point, because they literally undermine. That's why we have the Electoral College, because we have such a problem with this urban-rural divide. So keep fighting the good fight, even in states that are blue, because in reality, even in Chicago, there was still 39% of the people in Illinois voted for Trump, even more downstate. In Chicago, we had a solid third. That's actually in a blue city like Chicago, to think that 1 out of 3 people you walked past today in Chicago voted for President Trump. They wouldn't tell you that. They're not going to admit that, because they're afraid for their lives. Actually, they're afraid for their lives and their jobs and their livelihood, because that's what the left does. The left goes after individuals and tries to tear them down. But in reality, when you look at the numbers, 1 in 3 people you walk past in Chicago, who live in Chicago, voted for President Trump. So by standing up, by showing our pride, by getting involved, we do what I've been saying. Oh, how many months have I been saying this? We normalize Trump support. And somebody said, oh, that means it's not normal to support Trump. No, that means it's not normal for you lefties to attack people who supported the president, duly elected president of the United States. This is not normal behavior. In no election in my history, in my lifetime, have I ever seen the voter attacked when you actually hate the candidate. But that is the fascism that we're living under right now. And so it's so important to normalize. That means I'm a Trump supporter. I'm going to be out. You're going to deal with me. Deal with it. If you don't like it, too bad. Meltdown. Go somewhere else. By standing up, will make a huge difference. Yes. I know, Mary. 1 in 3, right? Isn't that impressive? And Fred says, but 95% of the blacks in Chicago voted Democrat. Yep. Now, to be fair, let's just look at some demographics, okay? The black population is really only about a third of the population in Chicago. Chicago is almost divided pretty evenly between a third white, a third Hispanic, and a third black. So that's not even a majority of the people in Chicago. And 5% of them voted for Trump. In fact, if you look nationwide, Donald Trump got a larger percentage of the African-American vote than anyone, and a significant, a very large percentage of the Hispanic vote across the country, which is very impressive considering what the president, what the haters say about the president. So, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. And what we're going to see is that percentage, yep. But see, look at the difference, Fred. 95% to 78%. Do you see what a significant percent that's bigger than any Republican has gotten. So we're making real progress. And as Mary says, the African-American community will, in fact, their jobs are coming back. Urban communities are coming back. We're supporting law enforcement, which is going to bring the crime rate down. We're getting rid of gangs. We're getting rid of illegal labor, which is undermining wages, particularly most negatively affecting the African-American community and the urban communities. So we're bringing back manufacturing, real employment. This is going to do some miraculous things. Believe me or not, but this is my prediction going forward in 2018. We are going to see the largest Republican vote of African Americans by 2020 for one President Donald J. Trump than we have seen in this country's history. Schools are getting better. We got to keep fighting these mayors. To be fair, I think in Chicago, the mayors are doing it to themselves. I mean, they're literally undermining themselves. Rahm Emanuel, nobody likes him. I'm going to tell you how Rahm Emanuel gets reelected. This is the only way he gets reelected. They're going to run somebody crazy no one can elect, or they're going to divide the black vote by running 2 different black candidates, and then Rahm Emanuel will win again. But let me just tell you, having lived in Illinois, lived in Chicago, and talking to everybody I meet about Rahm Emanuel, nobody likes him. Nobody in the city likes him. They put up with him because the alternative was Shui Garcia, who was a communist. Unfortunately, that's the problem with that. So, yes, it's going to be hard to get rid of these mayors, but frankly, even when we can't get rid of them, they are undermining their own position. Chicago is losing citizens, residents at literally record pace, largest in the country. All of these blue states are. All of these urban blue cities are losing people because nobody wants the high taxes. Nobody wants the high crime. And we are sick of the politics and gamesmanship going on while not giving a hoot about the constituency and the issues actually affecting the voters. And Rahm Emanuel, key example. Absolutely one of the worst. So, we got some work to do in 2018. We are making progress. The culture war is being won. Well, I love Mary. So what exactly is the difference between Rahm and a communist? I think the only difference would be that communists actually believe in something and Rahm can just be bought and will believe anything. I think that's the only difference. Because, at least if you're a communist, you have a principle. It's utterly wrong and leads to the enslavement of the people. But Rahm Emanuel doesn't seem to even have a principle. So, sad. And he's the mayor of the second largest city in the country. Screw you, LA. You cheat. You add extra counties. Okay. LA only. Chicago is second. Just gotta say. Just facts. Just some facts, but it's going to get smaller. It might not even be second anymore. Houston might be second now because Chicago's losing so many people. So let's just recap what I'm talking about today, you guys. We have great things going on in the culture war movement. I'm excited to see Roseanne's show be able to support the president publicly. I'm excited to see all of the movement working very hard. Please get behind the president. Stop freaking out about DACA. Call ABC, let them know you appreciate what they're doing. Call Governor Hogan, tell him he's a rhino. Call your representative, let them know if they're doing something good. Let them know if they're doing something bad. You thought what's happening with the no-go zones in Dearborn, Michigan. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that horrible? This is exactly the kind of thing you should be calling your elected officials about and saying, what's going on? Why are we not enforcing the laws in these cities? It's very much, we saw this in Utah with the Mormon sects, S-E-X-T, sects, S-E-C-T-S, there's no X in it, S-E-C-T-S, sects, Mormon sects. It's hard to say without making it sound inappropriate. What we will see is, well, I'm going to talk about that in a second real quick, and we'll tie it up with that. They're operating against the law, and then we come in and we crack down. Now, however, the Mormons aren't trying to shut down America through violent insurgents. So it's much more dangerous to have these pockets of Sharia law where we have no-go zones, where we don't enforce the law, where law enforcement is afraid to be. So call your people. Now, Deborah, I will talk about this real quick, and then we'll close out this show, because Deborah says Roseanne's show will get canceled like Tim Allen's show did. Now, to be fair, Tim Allen's show was canceled for more reasons than just politics, although I'm never going to say that politics didn't play a part. I'm sure it did. But I suspect that ABC will have far more damage to itself if they cancel the show than if they keep the show. Now, could they possibly be running that kind of a thing where they're going to put up the show, they get a bunch of freak out press, and then they cancel the show? Maybe. And if they get enough pressure from the left, they will spook, and they might do that. Just all the more reason we get up there, call them, let them know we support them showing the Roseanne show. We support characters who are Trump supporters. We support it. So true, Mary. So true. And not just Muslims. I appreciate how she's saying this. This is very important how Mary is saying it. Mary is not saying Muslims have taken over the government, because I'm not here to talk about what all Muslims are doing. That would be ridiculous. What I am happy to talk about and oppose with every fiber of my being are the Islamists, the Islamic Shariaists, who want to use government to impose Sharia law. And these are exactly the people we need to be concerned about taking over government roles. Okay? It's very important. And it's not just, it's a cultural jihad, but their idea is to continue to be able to impose Sharia law through the court system. And that is one of the things that they've done across the country. And we see the court starting to fight back on that. But we have the social justice warrior movement totally in support of it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we need to continue to demand our public officials, demand them enforce the rule of law. So important. We don't enforce the rule of law, we're not going to win this country back. And we fought too hard to elect President Trump. Henry will tell you. We fought very hard to elect Trump. We need to keep fighting. Every day. I'm fighting every day. I'm here working in D.C. hard as I can, working with Stand With POTUS PAC. I want to thank them for the opportunity to help me, help us make America great again. Please go to standwithpotus.com. If you have an opportunity, donate today. Give us a little opportunity, a little gravy to help move the MAGA movement forward. We're going to do the best thing we can with every penny you send us. So important. This is the FEC warning I have to give you, because I'm trying to raise money to help this movement. And that's our show today, you guys. Trump Talk. Mary, you are so right. Let's not become Europe. Let's stay America, you guys. Let's stay the United States of America. How do we do that? Tell us, Henry.
Shake this system, come on, Trump.
Second Amendment. What do you need? Trump.
Don't start cooking, we can eat out tonight now.
Right. Why can we eat out, Henry? Because we got more money. Because we have more jobs. Because we're keeping more of our taxes. It's not Trump. It's not Trump. It's not Trump right there. So good. Love my Henry. Henry Davis, please keep up the good work. Congratulations on all the stuff you're doing. Congratulations on your Larry Elder interview. Please follow Henry Davis if you don't. Please go to Overpasses for America. Join Fred Schneider with Overpasses for America. If you are in any state, find your local Bikers for Trump group. Get involved with Bikers for Trump. And of course, as always, tune into the show tomorrow. We'll have more Trumpiness, more MAGA every single day because it's your girl Suzzanne Monk trumping out as always. See you tomorrow.